talking current. So I said, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, and let's see who else should I choose? Do not say Citrus.
I'm a hip hop artist.
I would say Busta, just because we were talking about Busta.
You're gonna say, so I said right now, and you're gonna say Busta Rhymes, and you know hip hop, and you know hip hop.
Right now, that. Kendrick. I would say Kendrick, J. Cole. Who's my other one? I don't want to say big.
Right now, buddy.
Huh?
Right now was the
I'm
question.
going through it in my head.
But you just said big.
No. This is Big L. It's a different artist I'm talking about. Big X, Big L. I can't remember.
Big X. Oh yeah, that hip hop artist that's up there. Yeah, go on.
No, I'm just saying up there. I said I like him.
Big X,
I've been listening to his music.
Big X a real person.
You're taking the piss, bro. I don't know hip hop, so maybe you don't tell me.
I don't know. Oh, I wrote on a covering letter that I only listen to old school music.
Bruv, that's me, you know. I don't listen to any hip hop right now.
Anything that's new, like
unless
it
sounds like the 90s hip hop. So Griselda, the rest of them.
Dove God right now is one of the is top 3 for cocaine rap.
See, as soon as you start doing drugs,
what is cocaine
drugs music?
It's just it's like
cocaine rap is
Pusha T, like
Pusha T.
Jay-Z.
Yeah.
It's Jay-Z as well. Jay-Z's cocaine rap.
Yeah.
I won't chat shit. Just for the record.
He's a Big X.
Yeah. I think of someone. No, I'm not chatting shit. I know that's his name.
Big X.
You just Google someone.
Are we live to you? Because I'd love to just fund the podcast.
Big X.
So
tell me one verse from it.
No. We're gonna clip it up. So, buddy, I don't know hip hop. For the people that are watching now,
I said when you said
no, you asked me a question. Do you know hip hop?
Because of your previous comment. Don't take it out of context.
The comment was Spliff Star's verse on Last Night on Flip Mode album. It is actually what was the?
He said it was one of the greatest verses.
It's one of the greatest verses.
I said that's what made the comment. That's what made me make the comment.
Like, and then you said I don't know hip hop, and I asked you to name 3 hip hop artists. You said. I said hip hop artist right now.
Yeah,
you said what was the last time? When was the last time Locke released a tune? Right now. So right now it means current, right? Does that mean like?
And that's why I asked you at the time when we were having a conversation.
No, but I said it. What I have to say?
Then I reverted back to what I said.
And then I'm still waiting.
I go back to the first thing that I said.
And then you said.
So for those that have got little babies, right? There's a woman called Miss Rachel. She is smashing it. Tune into Miss Rachel. She's hard.
However,
that's all I got.
Have you heard about Miss Rachel's case?
She got a case.
She's got a case. No, not a case. There's a thing about she made some comments about Gaza, and now they're trying to say she's anti-Semitic.
No way.
Miss Rachel.
Miss Rachel.
Miss Rachel.
Who's Miss Rachel?
Right. So
Google it.
Miss Rachel.
I'm lost.
So if you have a toddler or a baby that is under the age of, Miss Rachel is the one. Yes, but she's on YouTube. So basically, she's the one who says, it's basically like our days play school, but she's talking to the little toddlers. She mucks about with them. She says things like, "Oh, say hi to mommy," all sorts of stuff like that. Now, what's good about her is that she's very interactive. However, she's blowing up a really big following of people. But what's happened? Like I said, she said something about Gaza. I don't know what it was. Something quite plain.
It was very low level. I can't remember exactly what she said, but something very low level.
She has blown they're coming for her saying something about she was saying something anti-Semitic. They're trying to come for her now. And she's the most plainest person you could come for. So
the same way they came for Gary Lineker the other day.
Yeah, that was yesterday, wasn't it?
But Gary Lineker, to be fair though, Gary Lineker has been saying a lot of stuff though for years.
Gary pushes the buttons, innit?
He didn't mean to, he said. So he said. What did he do or say? Rain Man will cover all this.
That one's not one of them. So it was going to be one, because what I was going to do, we are live, innit, Elmo? Right. So what?
Hold tight then.
Yeah,
for the YouTube.
I guess they're sorting that thing out. We're gonna go into the thing of the competition.
Shout out to everyone on Instagram.
Yes, from the last 2 weeks or 2 weeks ago when we had Kojo in the building.
Shout out to Kojo.
Yeah, it was a very good podcast. The amount of traction or the amount of people that interacted.
Sorry. Yeah, but have you seen he's recently on Instagram? Funny enough, he's been putting up his shorts. He had little short little skits that he's been putting up recently. They're actually quite good. Just little funny little clips he's put on there. Go check that out. I'll little quick plug for him.
Right, okay, my thing. Maybe we can get him to plug us.
Kind of paid me for that one. So it's fine.
So we're gonna get into that in a minute. Or maybe we do it now before we go to the main body of the podcast?
Yeah.
All right. So,
I'd say so.
So what? Just run people through what it was that we asked.
For what it was, we was asking. There was there's 2 tickets were given away for Kojo's stage comedy show, which is called, and I'm trying to remember the name of it. You know,
Married to the Game, I think.
Not Married to the Game. That's the one. Married to the Game. This is going to be on the 24th of September in Hackney Empire. We asked the question, or Kojo asked the question. He said, you need to DM us and say, what does the name Kojo mean? What day of the week it is?
What day of the week?
And the day of the week it is Monday. Right. So those that answer correctly their names are in that red cup there. I'm going to give it.
So, Wiley, one second.
Go on.
So, just for those that got it wrong, I thought it was Tuesday. But for those that got it wrong,
You was your bedroom from 19 long. Literally.
19 long.
This is what I'm saying.
I'm calling it Monday. Well, go on.
So even before you say that, but what's the rest of the days of the week? They got names as well.
Yes.
So I was.
They have got names.
Say that. Sorry, brother.
They have got names, but I'm not Ghanaian to know.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow. Only if you had a computer in front of you.
I made sure. Only what, say?
Wish you had a computer in front of you that you could do this.
If only. I need to be connected to the Wi-Fi for that, isn't it? But if only. So the thing that we did say was that we were going to ask people to DM the names, the day of the week to us. Those names would go into a competition cup, which I believe is there. So we have got the names in the cup. We're giving them a little shake, and who's going to draw the name?
I think it should be Buddy.
You think it should be Buddy?
I thought he was going to say somebody else.
So the names are in there.
Wait, so just for the record, so how many people actually got the question right?
There were.
Was it a mix on YouTube and Instagram?
No. They had to DM the Instagram page.
That's the
Okay.
They had to DM the Instagram page, and I believe that there were 7 people who got the answer correct.
Only
those
7?
There were 7 people. Those names are in the cup.
It's mad though. Like, how can only 7 people
No,
get it
they aren't.
right?
When you got
And you
Google,
can, yeah.
or even chat GPT or whatever.
It's mad.
You'd think,
Maybe they just didn't cheat.
but yeah.
I'm cheating to get Kojo tickets. You know what I mean?
But
Drum
yes,
roll, drum roll,
indeed.
drum roll, drum roll. Come on.
Drum roll indeed.
The winner is this one.
Okay.
Okay, they won.
So,
They won.
that
This one won.
And the
Well done,
name
this one.
is
Trinity.
Trinity.
Oh, raw.
Yeah.
So well done to Trinity. Trinity has won 2 tickets to go to
Shout
Married
goes
to the
out to
Game.
Trinity. I hope it's my Trinity.
It
Hope
is
it's
your
happy
Trinity.
this is-
Same Trinity.
Yeah.
Oh, go on,
Come
go on,
on,
Married.
man. Go
Has
on.
won 2 tickets to go and see Married to the Game at the Hackney Empire.
Mad.
Shout out to Kojo for giving us the tickets. Very, very, very generous of
I'm
him
going to
to
show
do
the camera
that.
to show that I'm not chatting
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
You're not
Yeah.
cheating.
Fixed.
Zoom
Yep.
in.
Exactly.
The other names. That was
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna
All
do
of
out a
them say
random
Trinity, though.
Yeah, a random
I
name.
got another random name just to let you know they're all different. Look, this is what,
got
Olivia.
Sarah there or something.
See, we don't cheat over here. They're real.
Indeed.
All
Indeed.
right.
But shout out to Trinity who got the answer correct. But yes, competition time done. You know, generous on the eMpTy podcast, you know. Don't
next time
forget
we're
to
gonna
keep an eye on what we're doing because come Christmas time, you know, our hamper is buff.
Oh, yeah, for
super
real.
buff. And if you're following, we'll be having something for you by then still.
Are we live on Instagram?
We really was. We learned everything now.
Everything.
We are.
Okay.
Shout goes out to everyone on Instagram. Share, subscribe. You know what? Add a friend and add another friend.
And then invite a couple more.
Makes life easier for all
And
of
share the
us.
team.
A lot more easier.
Indeed.
And all those on YouTube, hello, well, go on.
Those on YouTube, if you can share, subscribe, and also add someone to add someone. That's the way we grow.
And click the notification button.
Right.
Indeed.
So, this is the eMpTy podcast. And to my left, we have.
Mr Wileycat DJ.
To my right, we have.
Citrus City, yeah.
To his right, he has.
Man like Tongo, you're done now in the building. Well, go on.
And to his right, you have.
Buddy in the building, aka the truth.
That has got to stop.
He don't need no mic, bro.
And I am Rain_Nelson_445, and I will be your host today-ish. So if you've been paying attention to the Instagrams and to our socials, this is going to be a Rain's Roundup. So Rain's Roundup traditionally is basically me, Rain, giving you highlights of the week. We kind of squeeze it down into 3 or 4 topics and we discuss them. Today, we have loads of topics that have happened in the last couple of weeks, maybe some a little bit further on, and we are just going to discuss them. Some will be quick discussions, answers, and some will be, let's get into a discussion about it, like a 15-minute, 20-minute, we'll see where it lands. What I will also say is there may be things that I may have, or there may be things that I may miss. What I'll do every so often, I'll say, has anyone got anyone? Has anyone got one? And then you just say, yeah, I got one I want to mention. And then you can bring your one to the table. So it can be, and it can be called Citrus's Roundup or whatever it may be. But obviously,
I mean, that was rubbish. Yeah,
it was rubbish. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to be flash. I'm not trying to rhyme. I'm not trying to
Why is he harmonizing though? But all right. I'm not trying to
So,
all right.
are you set up, Wileycat DJ? Yeah. Right. So I'm gonna start domestic. So this week, does anyone know what this week is?
National Mental Health Week.
Boom. National Health.
Near Buddy's birthday. I mean, where are we going with this?
Your birthday's the following week.
Yeah, but
Right, okay. Mental Health Awareness Week. So some of us knew, right? What have you not done for Mental Health Awareness Week? Because we all suffer from, not suffer, sorry, that's the wrong word. We all have mental health. Whether it's bad mental health or whether we are good with our mental health, we all have it. So what have we been doing to kind of acknowledge this week, if anything?
I spoke to 3 of my mentees.
Right, okay.
And this is why I knew it was Mental Health Awareness Week.
Yeah.
Is we all had different conversations based on it. None of them knew what it was.
Right.
So we had a conversation why it's important and what they're doing in their life to recognize their positions within their mental state.
Right.
Which was extremely eye-opening because they didn't even recognize. To be fair, I didn't recognize, if I'll be honest, but they didn't recognize. And not knowing where you are mentally in when you're just kind of processing life, it can be a bit much. And one of them, I wish I could say his name, but one of them, the conversation took 2.5 hours.
Really?
Since we opened that kind of that arena to speaking, and the things that he was sharing, there's certain things, actions that he now needs to do, which I won't share, but without using the Mental Health Awareness Week as the prompt, we would never have had that conversation. So that it worked in that respect for me.
Okay, cool. Anyone else?
I mean, I walked in here and gave you a bit of a mental awareness about something and everybody ignored me. But apart from that,
tell the people what your mental awareness thing was, just so we can discuss it.
Yeah, we can. That's actually a good one. So I feel, or I know, now to be very personal with this one, I suffer a little bit with anxiety.
Right. We all do.
And that's in general. Now, but on a real, I'll be open on the podcast, and I know it's going out to for quite a lot of people, but I suffer from anxiety. I feel to myself, I've worked out through my life certain points where I realize to myself I suffer from certain things that will cause me to be very anxious about something, and the level that I take it to is unreal.
Yep.
And I've noticed certain triggers,
right,
which I feel to myself is quite good. When I've now noticed it, I've now said to myself, you know what, be aware of the things that trigger it.
Right.
So things like we have a thing at the moment where we come to the podcast and it's like we have to be on time for something.
Right.
I notice that if I'm running late or if I'm running behind the time that I've scheduled, I can sit there and be like, I need to do it. And I get quite anxious. It raises my blood pressure. It makes me think a lot. It makes me start panicking. And that's whether I'm going to be early or not. I'm sitting there, I'm panicking. I'm thinking too hard about it. And I don't like it. So I try to alleviate that pressure by not putting myself in those circumstances and saying to myself, you know what, I don't want to suffer from those type of things. So if I'm in any type of anxiety about anything, all right, I will always sit there and think to myself, you know what, don't put yourself in that situation because I don't need to. Do you know what I mean? As a grown man now, I realize to myself, you know, I'm in control of whatever entity that I am doing or whatever I'm doing, I can control it. So if I can control it, the best thing I can do is take myself away from it and say to myself, I don't need to be in that situation. So that could even come down to things like going to work. So if I'm going to be late for work, or I'll give you one that's quite simple because one that I suppose a lot of us have gone through is being on time for school, the school run.
Yep.
And it's like, I'll say to myself, well, you know what, I need to be on time, and I'm keep on leaving at say 8 o'clock, and I'm late, and I'm pushing. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave at 7:30 this way. I've got half an hour. Leave me alone. Exactly. I'm going to be there. Yep. Now I'm cool. Now I don't even care about it. So I'll leave at 7:30. That's my time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? 7:30. If it messes up at 7:30 and I then start getting the anxiety again, I'm like, I'm going to be late. Then it bothers me, and I try to, you know, like I said, I found a way to cure that problem. So when I see things now, I always say to myself, you know what, I tried to stay away from it. So hence the reason when I walked in, I said, you know what, I don't like the rule because the rule turns and it gives me anxiety. It makes me think about it. Even if I'm going to be early, I'm still thinking about it and I don't like it. So rather than put myself through it, I don't want to be a part of it.
But you have to be a part of it. And then with that in mind, as you put up a solution for the school run, what would be your solution for the podcast? For
the podcast? So and again, it's very private, so I'm personal, so it's not really supposed to be that. But personally, today I had a free day today, partly because of the podcast. And I've had this free day and I've done most of the things that I've had to do within my own life. And then I turned and I checked Citrus, to be fair. And I said, you know what, I've got time, I'm gonna go and chill out with him. It's fine. Obviously, he's got to get to the podcast, I've got to get to the podcast, we'll just come together. Now, he was the reason why I've been sitting there chilling. I was like, whenever you're ready, I'm ready. I'm watching the time thinking.
But he was on time.
Hello?
Well, okay.
He was on time.
No,
don't do that.
She was inquiring.
I saw the selfie in the lift. I get it.
Don't do that, Rain Man.
No, you're right. He was 1 minute late.
Right. We was both in the car park, so I know.
No, it doesn't matter the car park. It's about here. But anyway, I get it.
Yeah. So what it was is that I'm sitting there and I was now obviously relying on him. So for me, it was like I took the day off to turn and say to myself, today I can just chill. I can get down here. Now, obviously, I'm chilling. This was happened, and I'm not going to shirk the responsibility because I'm a man. Like I said, I will take it on. However, it's the other side of it is like the anxiety that it caused. And I was talking to him on the way up here. I said, the anxiety it causes, I don't like it. There's been dinners that we've gone to. We've done different things. I don't like it, and it always causes. No matter if I'm going to be early, I always sit there and have the anxiety about it. I don't like it. So for me, I just don't want it.
Not to labour on it because we're going to move on, or I'm going to move on kind of. But you don't like it, is it because you're not in control of that situation and you want to be in control and you want to roll up whenever you want to roll up to anything at any time you want because it's what you want to do?
No, because I understand. So for me, and I've said this to you guys before, and again, not to labour on the point, but it's like late is late, all right? I understand that. But however, I also say to myself, if someone's 30 seconds late, I'm not going to, or a minute late, I'm not going to sit there and go, oh, you're late. If you're 5 minutes, 10 minutes late, then I'm like, all right, now you can start pushing the thing. I understand it. And I've always controlled my punctuality like that. So to say, if you're 10 minutes or 5 minutes late, I understand. If you're a minute late, don't sit there and say to me, yo, bro, 30 seconds. I'm like, piss off.
Let me ask you a question. If you were going to the Liverpool parade because they won the league, yeah?
Well done. Well done, Rain.
You're going to the Liverpool parade. You have to get the 3 o'clock train.
My brother.
And you get to the train station,
at
the platform, at 3 minutes 30 at 3:03 or 3 or 1 minute 1 minute past 3, 30 seconds past 3. Where's the train?
Sometimes it's still there.
No, where's the train?
It's still there on the platform most of the time.
Where's the train?
I get what you're trying to say.
No.
And I understand.
Just answer the question.
I don't understand
just
the
answer
point.
the question. Where's the train?
Rain Man,
I know, but you're not answering the question. Where's
the train may be just about to leave the
train's gone. The train's gone. So with
gone.
that in mind, that's why we have these things, innit? We have these things in place. Lately, I get it, anxiety, but everybody gets anxiety for different things. The school run, I get you. You know what I mean? You've got to do a job. You've got to get to a customer. You get into traffic. You say you're going to be there 9. Your sat nav says you're going to get there at 9:08. You get it. Just got to deal with it.
But this is the thing. And again, we're not going on at that same point. But this is the thing. Mental Awareness Week. You made a point about it, right? Yep. I feel like people need to acknowledge things like anxiety because anxiety is a big thing, and because of the fact that I know that
one of the top 5 reasons as to why men suffer from poor mental health. 12.5% of men in the UK suffer from a mental health condition.
And anxiety, like I said to you, for me, I've had to learn that I suffer from it. And it's not just from turn up late or school runs and stuff like that. There's other things in my life I realized to myself I do suffer from it. And I've always thought to myself, you don't suffer from it. I don't suffer from anything. And as far as I'm concerned, and a lot of people in there would sit there and say in the room would say, I don't suffer from anything. I'm fine. All right. And in their own individual cases. But when you start thinking about it and deeps it properly, I started saying to myself, you know what? That is something in different circumstances. Every one of my circumstances, I can say to you, the anxiety within myself does kick in on different things. It could be football. It could be those different things.
Just one thing, and I'm going to move on to Tongo, is your anxiety is caused by something which is controllable. Some of these mental health conditions, bipolar, severe anxiety, is literally, I'm stepping out of my house, the bus is coming, and it's a full bus. and they can't control that. Yours is, I've just got to leave out earlier, or I've got to pay attention to my watch. But again, has to be respected and has to be understood. But Tongo, Mental Health Awareness Week, anything from you?
I didn't actually know it was,
Right, okay.
to be fair, but I would say, as of my current lifestyle, I try to be more mindful of my mental health, and I'm getting more comfortable with like saying no, or taking time out for myself, or feeling that it's acceptable for me to say no, or to say I'm taking myself out, or I don't want to talk to nobody, or anything like that. So, yeah.
All right, cool. Wileycat DJ, from a point of view of a black male, 23% of men, black men in the UK suffer from poor mental health. Psychosis being the number one. Psychosis?
Explain what psychosis is, please.
Switching, going mad, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
I think the thing for me, I've had it acknowledged from my workplace and in my other environment, but I think the
You're
thing
mad.
for me,
Okay, see that.
right, that's a given anyway. But I think the thing for me, and it's important, I think what Reigns touched on there about how it affects the black community. We don't want, a lot of the times, I think it's work. We've been quite slow in accepting mental health is a big thing in our community. And then people don't want to admit that people they may know or themselves are suffering with things to do with mental health. So
Too much stigma, that's why.
there is. But then what then happens with it is people want to then try and act like nothing's wrong with them, or nothing's wrong with someone who's suffering with it. And it's like an embarrassing sort of tag to try and put to people. So that's probably one of the reasons why it's such a high number in our community prevalent and doesn't get the support. But at the same time, I think we touched on this, I think last year as well. There's not a lot of support for black people, who's the black
Can I
men
add to that?
in this country when it comes to mental health.
But no, I disagree, because mental health is mental health. It's not defined by race. If you're suffering from poor mental health, there are institutions out there that will help black, white, Chinese, blah, blah, Indian, you know what I mean? So
Yes.
I hear what you're saying, but if you're saying that you need someone that's going to be able to talk to you and cipher with you as a black man, maybe that's not out there.
Well,
I know what
sorry,
you're
go
saying.
on.
I also feel like currently they're trying to push mental health on anybody, everybody.
Well, that's another thing. I agree.
Like just overbearingly. A child might misbehave. Oh, he's got ADHD. Oh, like before they even be like, well, he's just 5 and he's just playing.
Do you know why though? Because
But let me finish. So people, I think people don't like to be put under that label when they feel like maybe they're not suffering, and they're trying to fight back. I think trying to push back against it rather than accepting that maybe they have got mental health issues.
Right, buddy.
Well, I was gonna say people get medicated nowadays, and sometimes with that, especially with ADHD, is something where it calms down the situation. Sometimes I'm not gonna sit there and say that I don't feel to myself it's not misdiagnosed, all right. But it's like if you've got a kid that's just proper hyper, you give them some medication from it because I've got medication for it. It calms them down, and they can now sit there and say it's now controllable. And when you work in like places like schools and stuff like that, all right, you're able to then turn and see that this is what calms them down. It's medication.
Well, do you think medication?
I can't co-sign that.
Go on, sis.
Because if you think about it, if I act differently to how you expect me to act, then you turn around and say I need medication so I can act how you think I should act. Versus this environment triggers me in a way that may spark quote unquote mental health episode
or reaction.
Reaction. So I don't think that the idea of leaning directly to medication as this person suffers from mental health, hey, take some medication to calm yourself down so you can fit into how we want you to feel and fit in works. I'll give you a perfect example. Talk about the wrong subject and topic to me on the wrong day, you'll get the hypest man in the room doing backflips and can't stand still. Is that a reason that I need medicating versus talking to me on another wrong day about something I couldn't care less about? I'm sitting there like I couldn't care. I'm not even going to tune in. I'm going to tune right out. Do I also need medication for that because I'm not acting the way you want me to act? So therefore, I think as soon as someone says, "Well, that person looks like they're suffering from this," these tablets control that, so therefore you should now do this. Fave that as a direct reaction. Don't get me wrong, over a sustained period, if there's an obvious case to say, do you know what, there's something wrong with this individual. And when I say something wrong, as in they're not necessarily acting themselves, then if there's a medication that will help them get back to who they are and know who to be, cool. Outside of that, when you see, and all I can think of is growing up with certain guys and certain people, and how I remember them growing up and then seeing them now, after they've been sectioned and medicated and whatever else, now they're speaking slower, their cognitive behavior is slower. Do you know what I mean? It seems to be quite a laborious conversation, just trying to find out how their day is. And I'm like, what happened to you?
They were the experiments.
And they was like, oh yeah, you know, I was on this tablets, and now if I don't take the tablets, they're gonna put me right back in the hospital.
They were the experiments.
And I'm just like,
I don't necessarily disagree with you, because I don't believe the tablets are the cure. All right, but
and sorry, just to say, whoever is on medication, not just tablets, whoever's on medication, there is a vast scale in it. We can't turn around and say someone that's taking one tablet once a week versus someone that's on 8 tablets a day. Do you know what I mean? They're not in necessarily the same category, so we should be fair and balanced.
Yeah, and that's what I'm about to say. There are certain circumstances. I was going to make a joke in regards to you and like talk to you on one day and how you actually react. Sometimes, yeah, we do feel like you need medicating, but but I'm saying that I do agree with what you said. Like I don't believe in the medication side of things. I do believe ADHD is a term that they've kind of put out there,
and that's one of the many mental health.
Yeah, and I personally don't like it, but I have seen certain people that have been medicated on certain things, and it has calmed them down. And like someone that I know is works in the school, and they've turned and said to themselves, you know what, this is something that they've experienced, and I'm like, okay, cool.
You know, he says it's calmed them down. Are they them though? Because this is the thing. I don't believe in the medication. Not that I don't believe in it. I think your point in regards to when you don't recognize the person and then they are medicated and you see a sense of what they were, then I get that. But when you're like ADHD, like then someone in the comments, if we do post this, will give us a definition and what it means. But I thought it was something to do with chemical impulses in the brain. What the tablets do is slow down or stop or inhibit the chemical impulses in the brain. That can't be good for your brain. If you are taking a tablet to stop something which is a brain function, that can't be good. Then I read something about ADHD in regards to the foods that we're eating. This comes back to the guest that we had on a little while ago, Miss Trues, when she was talking about the seasoning, ultra processed foods. Like we all eat, like you just boxed off, I don't know how much chicken wings. You know what I mean? Ultra processed foods.
£9 for a pound.
And we've all done it. Like we can't say we haven't.
I don't.
You don't lie. Ultra processed foods is a killer, and it is a neurotoxin because of the oils that we're using, but we still do it. But some people can't stomach it properly. You know what I mean? And that's what hinders them. But if you change the food, if you change your diet, start drinking water rather than Sprite, does that help?
Well, this is the thing. I mean, I think even when you go back to what Miss Truce was saying, was that a lot of the foods, is it the things that we're eating that's affecting us?
Yeah.
I go back to the point of what I was saying about black men in particular and how they're experiencing mental health in this country. Yeah. And it's significant disparities that they go through. Like there's a higher rate, they do face higher rates of serious mental health illness, lower rates of access and treatment and support services compared to other ethnic groups. And the reason why that is the case a lot of the times is to do with stigma and to do with a lack of trust in the NHS system, but also to do with certain stigmas that are put onto black people. So if someone is suffering an episode, oh, they must be smoking weed. Oh, they must be having a drug effect. And there's so many labels to them that that are given to us. So when people are trying to reach out, talk to us of the stigmas that we have in our own community, the outside help isn't there. So then when you now have things like the foods and the things that we're putting in our systems that could affect this even more, that support system that should be there isn't necessarily there. So for me, this mental health week has been about trying to make sure that people understand that any help that is out there, try and gravitate towards it. It's not about anyone feeling like it's something to avoid. Don't feel ashamed. Don't feel shy. Say what's on your mind, because help is out there. It's just about making sure we get access to the help.
I personally believe to myself, and I've said this on a few podcasts, is like sometimes it's just about talking to people.
Yeah,
like, and it's literally that. I mean, I said about the anxiety when I walked in the room. I said, no, I don't like it. I was speaking to Citrus, funny enough, on the way up here. I said, I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I feeling like this? I'm now willing to run someone over on the road just to make sure that I don't have to come here and face this foolishness, because it annoys me.
It's not foolishness, it's just being on time.
Whatever, the foolishness. All right. But it's like, because it annoys me. But I feel that way. So I said to myself, I'm gonna come and I'm gonna express it. I said, even if I was late today, I said, I'm gonna come in late, I'll pay my fine, whatever, and then I'll turn and say to you, I'm not doing it again because I don't like the feeling.
Well, you will do it again,
Do you know what I mean?
but you're right. It is part of the release of the mental health. Like, you don't want to have it on your head. You want to say something, and I think that is part of it, like getting it off your chest. Any final comments before I move on? No, right, all right. I had a conversation with one of our mutual friends. So he was saying that the last 2 days, obviously it's been quite warm in the UK. 25 degrees. I think at one point it was, what was it, touching 26, 27? He was saying that it's so hot. Oh my God, I got to sleep with no. And I said I was going to mention it on the podcast. He said, it's so hot. It's too hot. I'm sweating. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And I'm like, my response was, don't be like them. And he didn't get mad, but he started to come at me. So I'm like, bro, 2 years ago, no, 2021, it was 40 degrees in the UK. I said, what did you do then? Was it hot then? What did you do? You must have had to leave. What's your thoughts on people over-exaggerating the weather? Because obviously, we haven't even had summer. Summer's coming, and we know we're going to get a couple 30-degree days.
I love the summer. I can't lie. I don't. When it's hot, we were just talking about mental health and foods and what it does to us. There's something about summertime that makes my spirits, I don't know what it is mentally.
I tell you what it is. It's the vitamin D.
Yes.
It's a sunshine vitamin. It makes you happy, basically.
And genuinely, the minutes the clocks go, is it back for the summer? When they go back, whatever it is it does, and it's now brighter days, I just feel more alive. If I'm in my workplace, I have to have the lights bright because brightness. So when it comes to like summer and the heat, I love it. And I can't understand people that complain about the heat, because when it is cold, people are moaning the most.
It's mad.
And not to be funny, we're not built for the cold. We are not built for the cold.
You're not built for the cold.
I'm 100% not built for the cold.
So
100% not built for the cold.
So you can't generalize. And I apologize. I'm the opposite side of the coin. Don't get me wrong. I love the sun on my skin. I love it. Touching,
It's called
feeling me.
apricity is the word.
What's the word?
Hot sunshine or sun rays on your skin is called apricity.
Why do I have to use the word rains? But, all right. But anyway, what it comes down to is I love it. However, my skin,
The reaction, I remember.
sun, we don't get on.
I remember.
I can be in the sun for a few hours. Anything longer than that, I get heat rash. I get a surge in histamine in my body, and then after that, I get rashes on my elbows, on my neck, on my back. It's like so uncomfortable. Whereas when it's cold, if it's too cold, I'll just warm up. When it's too hot, I can't cool down. Do you get what I mean? It's not like I'm gonna go and stand in the shade and I'll be cool. It don't work like that. Do you get what I mean? But at least if I'm cold, I can put layers on and I'm all right. I'm fine. But yeah, me and the sun, as much as I love the heat and love being in the sun, myself and the sun, we don't necessarily get on.
What it is this country, so when you're saying about everyone, this country is not built for the amount, that high level of heat. So when it gets to a certain degree and it gets really hot,
35 degrees.
but it gets
too mad.
It's too much, because what it is you
Like
go to Caribbean countries,
the underground can't handle it.
The roads start to melt, bro.
The roads, trains.
Because in the Caribbean,
there's delays on the Windrush line.
in the
Clouds that run that thing.
We need some.
That's a new line as well. Them man can't run it.
no,
Idiot.
Caribbean and in Greece and it's a lot of these hot countries, it's like
Dubai.
Like they've got aircon in every. You walk in
Everywhere.
here, everywhere's aircon. I mean, even here, no aircon in here.
You had a fan, mate. So
I think about the fan.
And the fan's off.
Well, I'm saying,
I got a 16-degree sun facing me, two of them, and a 14-degree
but
sun.
this is the thing,
The fan's off.
we're not built here in this country for it. So when people are complaining about it, like you go into your house, all right, it's baking hot. There's like the aircon. There's no aircon in your house. Do you know what I mean? You gotta get a fan. Go buy a fan. The fan is burn up your electricity. You're like, just switch this thing off. Like open up the window. You've got freaking the bugs coming in the yard. It's like, just
Tongo then
suffer.
Good.
Well done.
You're right. It's true. Like this country can't handle weather in any extreme, whether it's too hot or it's too cold. When it's snowing and it's all the roads can't handle that neither. They ain't got enough salt for the roads.
You can't handle nothing.
They can't handle nothing. This country's
It needs to just be like this.
On
medium.
Monday, it rained heavy.
Yes.
You see?
No, but
Let me finish what I'm saying though.
Go
But
on.
the other thing I hate about the country is you guarantee that it's hot, but you don't stay hot. You're still like, I still need to bring a coat though. Like,
But in the UK,
yeah, you're still not sure. You're still not sure.
It might rain because
you
of the
still
country
get
weather.
a bloody
yeah.
thunderstorm
Blood, I'm sure.
at 32 degrees. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. That was
It's mad.
But what was you gonna say? Because you said no.
a couple of things. Firstly, I don't know why I'm going for the UK weather because in London, right? In East London, we had hailstorm.
Yes.
It's not just East London. In Northwest,
Yes.
But no,
It wasn't all over.
It wasn't all
I
over.
never- I never even
because I
noticed it.
spoke to certain man that was in South,
Never happened.
certain man that was in West.
Never
They were
happened.
like,
Northwest it was.
What
And
are you-
definitely east. We got it.
They're like, what are you talking about? I said, brother, there were hailstones busting windows. Do you get what I mean? They were like, no.
Never happened down to my
So,
sides.
and then people were like, what are you talking about? I was like, bro, it was blitzing down.
Bless.
you know what that is?
Go on.
Project Harp.
I knew he was going to say
Right
that.
We say
now,
flat Earth, yeah.
right? No. Because I've got some conspiracy theory stuff in it. The UK government last week said they are going to.
The electric thing. I
They
was waiting for this.
no, not even that. I'm going to come to that in a minute. I've got
they're gonna
everything.
stop the sun or something.
They said they are going to block
the sun.
the sun to stop it getting warm in the UK and help global warming. How?
Can you
It's-
block the sun?
They are blood. I don't
Flat
know
Earth.
how they're doing it.
Flat Earth.
Them man there said, no, it's not flat earth because flat earth is a conspiracy. The government have said they are going to block sun rays. So when I say harp, so harp is, for people that don't know, Google it please. It is a
Isn't it a
conspiracy
isn't it a
theory,
weapon?
which is it controls the weather. So
Right.
it can make it rain somewhere. It can make it hailstone somewhere.
They can. They've done it for years.
Remember in the Olympics, I think it was the Solar Olympics.
And then it, oh no,
It was gonna rain. The man then shot rockets into the sky to get rid of the clouds. That's harp.
right. Do you know what? I remember, like leading up to the 2012 Olympics, the weather was terrible.
Right.
Then the day of the opening ceremony,
You think this
it
is
was
not
like
controlled?
heavens just said, you know what, you man.
It was
I'll give you that a break.
It was like rapture, blood. No.
And I was just like, I was like, I don't get it. I don't understand.
Blood.
Everything was okay again. So, you know, when you're in your head, you're like, these things are not true. But
true.
Project HARP, its primary goal was to study the ballistics of re-entry vehicles and collect data about the upper atmosphere. It utilized very large guns to fire projectiles at high speeds to achieve this, not for blocking the sun.
No.
So they say.
Oh, no, but
So they say.
harp and what the UK government are doing are two separate things. Harp mutated, or if you type in harp advanced, don't do that because we're going to be here for all day. It's not a conspiracy theories podcast. That's in a couple weeks' time. Harp controls the weather. Google it. I'm going to move on.
Click that.
next thing.
I'm going to move
I love
on.
the way Rain knows where his cameras are, innit?
So,
Google it.
has anyone seen the thing about the prison service?
They're going to open 4 more prisons in the UK.
Before that, so
Yeah.
the precursor to that. So, the prison service is at 99% capacity.
Yeah, so they're letting
Yes.
people go.
In November, no, we've
we
done
passed
that.
that.
In November, the prison service will be at 100% capacity.
1 second, Rain. 1 second.
Go for it.
So, for those that don't know, some people that are incarcerated were given, their sentences were shortened, and they were offered tags or community service to
Right.
alleviate space to allow capacity in the prisons. However, since that's happened, excuse me, the even with reduced sentencing, they have still managed to fulfill them spaces up with recalls and whatever else. So now, this is where the 99% comes from.
Yeah, well, kind of. So what? So there was a right. So they're at a position where the people that go out and so going back. Sorry, initially good behaviour. Your sentence was halved. Yeah. What they did was, if you're sentenced, and so don't listen to the right wing media. What Labour did, they said, if you were doing good in prison, we will let you out at 40% of your time, and then you will go into house arrest, and then you will go on tag. However, the house arrest didn't work because someone's got to come around and check. The reason why it didn't work is because there are not enough people employed to go round to the people in them's house.
Right. Okay.
So they, I've got it written down here. They had a project called Operation Early Dawn. Operation Early Dawn is basically, well, it's not, they haven't even got Tottenham prison, but in Tottenham police station, all the police stations, you had holding cells. They were letting people do sentences in there.
In the holding cells.
What? That's what they want to do. That's the Operation New Dawn. So part of it is you go into there, they'll hold you in there for a period of time. However, that then stops new arrests. So then the police, when all of those cells are full up, the police go out there. For example, if you were a thief, you're out there committing a crime.
Buddy the thief, though.
Buddy the thief. Buddy the thief. You're out there doing the thing. The police arrest you. There's no space. They raid you around. Have you got
say Buddy the burglar? Like he's a McDonald's character. But carry it anyway.
I can imagine him with the black bars.
Wow.
And the swag, and the cape, and the swag bag,
and a sleeveless vest, a sleeveless shirt, and a hoodie. Yeah. But yeah, so in November, basically, so cutting to the chase, we're gonna have a problem. They are building X amount of new prisons.
I think 4. They said they'll open up this year.
In one of the
opened up 3 recently.
Well, I don't know about this year, but yeah, but in some of the shires,
yeah.
So they're gonna open up a couple. I
know one just opened up.
Those prison spaces are only gonna equate to 1,400 spaces. Which is decent, you know what I mean? With the view, if we control,
that's not. Bare people should be being more.
But what it is, the way that the population's increasing, it won't hold people. So the man them come on the TV and said, we in November will be in a state of emergency where people can't be arrested. So thieves will be out on road, people will be doing whatever. Sodom and Gomorrah, call it that if you want to call it that. If your car get thief, there's no one to phone. You might as well call Ghostbusters because they're the only people that can probably help you.
Russ.
We are going to be in a problem.
I'm saying that it's not many because remember, these prisons are for everyone in the whole of the UK. It's not like it's just for London. That's why I said it's minor. That's hardly anybody.
It's not a minor.
I mean, the amount of people, it's not a big number. It's a very small amount. I'm saying that it's a problem that it's only those amount of spaces. That's very tiny compared to the whole nation of having crime or criminals or...
So I'm missing your point. Maybe I'm not understanding.
Right, so you said there's only 1,400 spaces, yeah?
Yes. When they open up all these 4 or 5 new prisons.
And I said, that's tiny. And he said,
the amount.
Tiny. Yeah, and I'm saying, it is. If you could think about that, that is for the whole of the UK to go to, or the whole of England, should I say, to go to prison. That's not a lot of people.
So if we look at a different way of reforming, then you do not need as many spaces in prison.
True. Do you know what? Sorry, Citrus. I'll let you finish. Go on.
It's okay, because I like the way if I start speaking,
everybody else has an idea.
Not me.
Because
I'm the host and I know how to act.
All right. No.
Organised crime.
Disorganized crime.
What you answer the pun? I can't believe it.
For me, no. But that's interesting.
Trying to jump on.
But what I would suggest, if there was a different way to reform, if we looked at a different way to reform, then you do not necessarily need to sentence all those to custodial sentences, or those that are in custodial sentences. If you look at a different way to reform, you do not need to keep them in custodial sentences. And the reason why I suggest this is if you look at other countries that have not necessarily such a big prison population, but how they handle crime, custodial sentence is not necessarily the answer. Sometimes it's down to education. Sometimes it's down to down to mental health. Sometimes it's down to medical intervention. Sometimes it's just down to they don't know any better. Do you get what I mean? If you remove certain layers in the community, then people do not necessarily know how to act. Let's just be our age, innit? There ain't no one to beat you when you're 14, 15, 16. There's no one beating you. And I'm not saying that physical retribution is the answer, but there's no fear. So at age 11, 12, you're turning around and telling a 25-year-old F off or piss off or this, that, and the other, or whatever it is. Now, you then doing that, you have zero fear. Yeah. So therefore, when you are told not to do something and then you go and do it, the retribution is the law then says, you do not know how to act. We're going to intervene and teach you how to act by incarcerating you for a period of X. Because that should teach you how to act, and it doesn't. It turns around and takes you away from society. So therefore, the idea of reform is by saying we're removing you from society, so you're no longer a menace. So we're going to teach you how to reform, when the way to actually reform is show them how to act, show them how to be better, show them how to be a citizen in this country and act according to the laws based on this land. There are laws in other countries that if you thief something, they cut your hand off.
One time.
So I'm not going to, that phone in your hand is nice. I'm not going to take that, because if I take that and they know I took it, there's no prison. They're just going to take my hand, lock it off. Now there's no more hand. So am I going to thief your phone? No. Like for those, and this is a little bit of a rant, but for those that live, I live in E2, I live in Central. For those that live anywhere around Central, anywhere around these hotspot city areas where you got these young men on bikes, jacking phones, 200, 300 phones per person per day, right? These are the numbers that they're looking at. If they knew if I got caught, someone's going to cut my hand off, do you think 200 and 300 phones per day are being taken?
Yeah.
So, right. So I got just an interjection. So firstly, in regards to your point, you said 1,500 spaces was small. Yeah. I think you're kind of right, because in 2022, there was 800 convictions. Not all of them went to prison. Not all of them went to prison.
800 convictions where?
It's UK.
But that's a small number.
800,000.
Okay,
sorry.
this makes more sense.
Yeah, 800,000. Now, are you then saying, off the mutation of that, we should bring back
the death penalty?
Not the death penalty, but
Ross.
but you're saying what? Just chop off the hand or
no. What
some kind of physical punishment?
No. But what I'm saying,
death tunnel.
If you, death tunnel, wall of death, bruv. Like, do you remember the wall of death?
Blood.
You had to put your hand.
Like
Everyone used to put their hands on.
It was tunnel of death.
Why did we do that for fun though?
No, we did that like when we used to play football. If you if you playing the week before, if you let a goal in, and it was your fault, training session, tunnel of death. So what tunnel of death is, for those that don't know, the whole football team, there might be 20, 30 man, will put their arm against the wall and stand a shoulder length apart from the wall. You have to start at one end and walk through.
No, not walk. Make it through.
Or make it through. Like under the tunnel that everyone's standing there. And whatever's happening for you to get from the end to the other end through the 20-odd man, it is what it is. Certain man will get halfway through the tunnel and collapse, pass out.
It's done.
It's a madness.
But
you know, tunnel of death, we didn't want it. But the point I'm trying to make is, and where it comes to, and I've spoken about this in previous podcasts, is we've removed somehow we've managed to remove the pillars of the community.
Right.
So
explain.
So our young people, and I'm just going to start with young people because it's easier.
Yep.
But young people are not scared of their parents. They're not scared of their teachers. They're not scared of their football coaches. They're not scared of the doctor. They're not scared of the priest or the sheikh imam. They have no fear.
Or even the police.
Oh, thank you. Like even more important, they're not scared of the police. Like I remember being young, right? If the policeman came to the school, it's like there's a problem. Like the policeman knows my mum, he's gonna phone my mum.
Someone's getting shit. That was the word. Shit.
Already a problem. When you remove all of these pillars, right? Automatically, these young people feel and think that I'm unstoppable.
But are those pillars removed, or has that come through?
No, the pillars have been removed because the rights of the child
Oh, right.
which are there to safeguard children,
They've gone higher.
are also there to safeguard children, if you get what I mean. So part of the problem is you safeguard children to show them right from wrong.
Yeah.
But the other side is you safeguard children to show them wrong from right.
Right, okay.
And when you remove all of that, they have no boundary to say, I should or shouldn't be acting this way. And then when they do certain things and certain things happen, you as a person shouldn't then be upset to how your child reacts if they have never been shown how to act in the first place. When it gets too far, the end result is, I'm going to pick up a knife, I'm going to stab Buddy, I'm going to stab him in his neck, because I need him to know that I'm not I'm not a idiot, I'm not a pseudo, I'm not a this, I'm not a that. Do you know what I mean? You can't chat to me this way. Now, it's only afterwards when I get in front of the judicial system
10 seconds.
and then they say, actually, sir, for you stabbing him in the neck, which is attempted murder, we're going to give you 17 years.
But there's no prison places.
No, bruv, you get 17 years, they find somewhere. But what I'm saying is, now you get these individuals that are committing these crimes do not necessarily know, and I know it sounds mad, that in doing this, if I get caught, the outcome is 17 years.
Buddy, then Wiley.
One of the safest places, well, some of the safe places nowadays in the world are actually in Middle East. Middle East, sorry, that's what I was looking for. All right.
The East.
East, yes, that's what I'm looking
Next
at.
to the best rapper.
Right, not East London. But it's the Middle East. Part of that is because the laws that they put in.
Yeah.
So like Citra said, and because he was going on and on, he actually got to the point that I was actually trying to make, which was actually, you can leave your phone there and walk out, and no matter how many podcasts that are going on in here, or how many shows, how many people, schools, whatever, your phone will still be there. Someone will tell to say, here you go, this is Rayman's phone.
Yeah.
Why? Yeah. Whereas, I suppose over here, if you left your
phone, you don't even need to leave
here,
your phone out. Your phone could be in your hand,
bro. It's gone. It's gone, bro. And the funniest thing is,
not all the time.
No, Rayman, if you left your phone here,
come to Old Street.
All right. Okay.
Come to City Road.
Your phone's gone.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, City Roads are high for that teeth.
City Road is
and
is
it's
high.
mad.
Go to Wiley's train station. Wiley will teeth the phone.
But what I'm trying to say is that it's the punishments aren't high enough. And with exactly what Citra was saying, with the punishment not being high enough, people are now hiding behind certain rules. Like he said earlier on, like with the kids, it's like, I'm not scared. What am I scared of my parents for? Like back in the day, everybody in this room was probably scared of their mum or their dad sitting there saying, if I got in trouble at school or anywhere, my mum is going to whoop my ass. Now it's like, whoop whose ass? Does she want to go jail? Touch who? She's not a bad girl out here, because I'll just tell them, yo, child support, mum put her hand on me, you know?
Do you know what the crazy thing is? But you know, the crazy thing is, I saw this thing on Instagram, and it was a woman and her son, and he said, Mum, I'm 13 now.
Shut up.
I'm bigger than you. What? And the mum is, she's recording, but she's got the phone facing down. It's facing the child's feet. And he says, I'm 13. I'm bigger than you. What are you going to do? And the mum was like, I've just told you to just behave. He was like, you can't tell me what to do anymore.
Right.
I'm bigger than you. And him saying that, in my head, I was like, I wanted to just message her, what's your address? I'll come there and I'll just drown you for 7 minutes.
If you want, I'm on it.
I'll just drown him. I'm not going to kill him. I'll just
waterboard him.
Oh, right.
And then bring it out and then just back again.
Bro.
Don't tell waterboard the man.
I'm 7 minutes. But 7 minutes, in and out. Like, and then shake back in. Do you know what I mean?
You're mad.
No, but
I get it.
What in our day, we can't get away with that.
You're right. Imagine telling your mum,
my mum would have tombstone power drive with me, bruv. Undertaker and then put on my roll their eyes up afterwards, flip back the hair. I'm like, right, what the
I wouldn't have got that. My mum or my dad, if I said something like that, they would just laughed. And you know by the laugh, it's maniacal. It's like an evil villain laugh. Something's gonna happen. Like the Joker. Yeah. Wileycat, I'm gonna bring you in. What's your thought?
Very quickly.
Yeah.
I think it was said earlier about there not being a need for more. There's a need for more custodials. There's a need for more custodials because there's a lack of acceptance of authority in this country.
Wiley,
One second. Yeah, please.
No. Wait. Listen.
Go on.
Let him finish.
I'd like you to. I'm going to finish.
Go on.
So I'm talking,
but you want to finish.
Wait.
Sure,
I'd like you to finish
I'm
your
talking,
point.
but you want to finish. Go on.
How the podcast is going to work.
Go on.
So I'd like you to finish your point. However, I want to respond to your point.
Yeah, but
So I'm
by
just
all
gonna
means,
let you know that.
let me finish.
I'm
What you can do,
I'm the
though.
host of the most.
By all means, you can do so.
I mean, I hadn't drank in ages,
My
but,
point
you
is
know,
to say
most,
this.
yeah.
My point is to say
There's
this.
nothing there.
I experience it on a first-hand basis, the lack of respect for authority in the country. Forget about the police. The problem isn't about and I hear the points to a degree of there are things that are not in place anymore. There are no more youth clubs and no more things like that. Totally agree with that. However, we mustn't take away the main thing of people knowing what is right and what is wrong.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
And there is a lack of authoritative response to when people do things that are wrong, and there being a consequence. And the bottom line should be, you do something wrong, there's a consequence from it.
Straight prison.
It's not even about straight prison, but what needs to happen is there needs to be a fear of the consequence.
Something will happen.
And there is no fear of a consequence from authority. There's no authority governing us, anyone right now. The amount of crimes happening in the UK has gone up. The amount of people being put into prison, from the numbers we're seeing, has gone up. But yet, if you go down Holloway Road, where there was a prison there, that prison has been knocked down.
It's a women's prison, though.
No, here's the thing. So where did all those women's numbers go to? It overcrowded other prisons.
But maybe women are not the problem in regards to the criminal activity in the UK.
The criminal activity, whether it be men or women, has still gone up.
Yeah, I'll get you. Yeah, cool.
So the issue has been, and it's been an issue for the last, I'd argue, and I'm saying this without getting any research, but I know I'm talking about research in my field.
Yeah.
The level of crime since 2019, pre-pandemic through to now, the pandemic was like a go for people. People was doing a whole madness in pandemic times. And there has been no clawback of authority since then. So that's where the real problem is. Authority has to be taken, and there's no authoritative action being taken.
I'm going to go Citrus and then Wiley if you want to respond, and then we're going to move on.
I think you need to do Citrus, Wiley, Citrus.
No. You and then him, and then we're
I wouldn't have minded.
I'm not going to touch back on it because there's loads more.
So Rain, just to come back to Wiley's point. So he said there needs to be more custodial sentences because people do not respect the law. Right? To respect the law, you have to understand and know what the law is.
Right.
There has to be an authoritarian to be able to present the boundaries to you, correct?
Yeah.
You have to be told this is right and this is wrong. If you are not told this is right and this is wrong, where'd you learn it? The hard way.
Right.
And with what Wiley's just shared is more custodial sentences is the assumption that they've already been told this is wrong and this is right, and they've done the wrong, so then therefore the result is custodial. I'm turning around and saying if the right level of authorities, the right support mechanisms were in place prior, then you know what? If you keep going down this road, your outcome is going to be here. So I've mentored young people. If you carry on doing this, the outcome is you're going to go to jail. When they carry on doing this and they approach Wiley and break the law and then they go to jail, they knew that it was potentially an outcome. Do you get what I mean? They knew this was an outcome.
Where did it start?
Pardon?
Where did it start?
It starts from a young age.
And who's supposed to be controlling that?
In the home, parents.
And in the schools,
and when you start taking away the authority from the
parents,
then all of a sudden you've already cascaded all of the bullshit you're getting now.
So the issues. So now, and the thing is, I mean,
you got 10 seconds, yeah?
Sorry, bro, you see it on Instagram, and you got parents filming their kids, F you, mummy.
Yeah.
And they go, ha, 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 look at my little bad bitch. And everyone's like, ha, ha. And I'm like, wait a minute. You don't know, if you don't curb this now,
later on, it's going
to be a madness. And then when they're older, and then they're slapping their boyfriend or their boss or their teacher in the face, and then everyone's like, rah, that's that same bad bitch that was 3 years old. And like Wiley's saying, throw them in jail. I'm saying, no.
Wiley,
let's take
Wiley, respond, and then we're going to move on.
Do you know what? Let's put jails in train stations.
Why?
I'd love it. I'd love
it.
The bottom line is this year, and maybe because people, I mean, not to be funny, we've all mentored young people. Let's be clear on that. We've all worked with youth clubs. We've all mentored or done mentoring of young people. It's not only young people that are doing crimes. It's not only young people. And the issues you're talking about, totally appreciate them. But it's big man doing crime. It's big woman doing crime. It's people who should know better doing crimes. And the bottom line is, we could say for the young people, for the younger ones, by all means, yeah, they could be taught whatever. When you're of a certain age, you already know what is right and wrong because you knew that before. It's now easier to do crimes than it was before. But this is going to be a whole podcast.
It's going to be a whole podcast.
Into that.
It's going to have to be, because we're going to have to move on.
Wiley, I'm going to greet you at the next podcast.
We've got 55 minutes left, and I know we're getting kicked out on time this week. Right. Remember 2 weeks ago, there was a power cut in Spain?
Yes.
And I said,
it was on the podcast.
Hold up.
I've been dying for you to
hold
on the podcast.
I said, it's coming to the UK.
Yep.
I had one.
What?
No, it was on the podcast.
No, I had one.
Yeah, no, it was on the podcast. He said it. He said it.
Rain, I had one.
He said, no, let rain land.
No, do you know what?
Let him land.
And I fell asleep. And do you know what he had? I was like, huh?
It came back on. Remember it was in Black Mirror.
It went Netflix.
It went, and the Netflix came back on. I was like, but I didn't realize I fell asleep. However, the only reason I knew there was a power cut, my oven.
Oh,
the clock started flicking with the time. And I was like, what's going on? I went to the other thing's flicking. I was like, what's going on? Everything lock off.
Wiley, clip up the one where they actually said it. Last podcast, it was said that they're going to, I think you said it.
I've got loads more that I can predict. I'll predict them if you want me on the podcast.
Do it live, bro.
I'm going to do it.
I said, right, let's go.
So basically, in the UK, the network, the tube network, I don't think it was overground, was it?
Yeah, it was some of the overground last week.
So it went down.
Monday.
Yeah.
The original story was, it was a power surge. Then it was a power outage. Now
what's the difference?
I don't know. We ain't got no power, and the thing that
a power surge is that there is an excess amount of power has gone through and it has blown things up or blown the circuits or whatever.
Blown things up.
Yeah, a power cut. A power cut would mean power has to stop being provided.
We had both of those.
All I know is Rain said that they said that London is due one. And afterwards, London got due one and it got done. I said, Jesus Christ, we said this on the podcast. I said, release the footage.
We said this, but it was me. But
we said it. We said we're one, bro. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, bro?
But no, on a serious note, the net, it was, and that was just the tube network. So I don't know where that power comes from.
All of West London went.
Yeah, well, no,
it was tube and it was National Rail.
Yeah,
so even as far as like Anglia got hit as well.
So it was chaos. Like, what was it like working?
I had finished. Luckily for me.
Okay.
You know what? While it was like,
why it calls it?
I went up with the same day that there was that hailstorm came down. No, it was all the same day, the Monday.
You know, Wiley, do you know what?
Don't get me started, bro.
It was all the same day. Do you know what? It was all the same day.
I'm glad you know.
Go on, Rain Man.
A bit of a madness, but right. On a bit of a, not conspiracy theorist, but has anyone seen the new revelations about, so it's the Khufu pyramid, but it's the pyramid at Giza?
No.
Right. So in the pyramid at Giza, you know, the big massive structure, which is actually a dilation bubble, slows down time. Some people know, some people don't. They use some new...
Sorry, for those that don't understand, Rain's studied...
everything.
Egyptology.
So he thinks...
No.
All of this...
No.
Talk about tombs like everyone understands.
Oh, right. Okay, sorry.
But this is his thing.
Right. So under the pyramid, they use some new, inverted commas, solar, something technology. And what they've done under the pyramid, so you got the pyramid, the big structure.
I heard about
under
this,
the pyramid, they found columns going down X amount of hundreds of meters. No one's seen that?
No, I heard something about that.
Jeez,
I did hear something about that.
I can't really ask the next question then, because
Go for it.
who built the pyramids?
Aliens.
No, do you believe that, or are you just saying that?
Nah. Well, I actually believe there is something that I read many years ago that said there were Ethiopians in Egypt tens of thousands of years ago, and they put the structures in place. However, they were bigger than the humans that we see today.
Right, okay. That's my lane. Okay, cool.
So I don't know. I don't want to. You know what I mean? It's like archaeology. But, this is and
They'd
for
have
me,
to been a lot bigger, bro. That's mad.
not necessarily a lot bigger.
Apparently they were a lot bigger. So this is good. We can't do this today. We can't go down the rabbit hole. But so you think aliens? What do you think, Tom?
That makes people comfortable.
Right.
Aliens is more comfortable than humans that are 10 times bigger than where we are now.
I believe. I believe. I believe I believe that we've been here before, and it's just that technology was that good then. I mean, I don't believe.
But how could we regress? How could we regress so far?
Just a missing
Through the Ice Age.
There's missing part, and afterwards everyone's had to restart again. We've rebuilt again. We've been here before. We've been at this level of technology before. They've got the scriptures somewhere. Like,
no, yeah, they do have.
Do you know what, bud?
Scriptures.
I respect that point.
Yeah, no, and he's right. There are scriptures which say, well, there's scriptures that say that. So, have you heard of the Boetis constellation?
No.
We need to do
everything that you say. Have we heard of it?
No. Have you heard of
Only you've heard of it.
The Boetis constellation is owned apparently by a god, and he did something, spliced DNA, and sent people to Earth, and they were the bigger humans that built certain structures. We're not going to get in that today. If you don't want to go down the rabbit hole, we can do that on another podcast. But you think aliens, you think...
I wouldn't say I know who. I wouldn't be able to give you that.
It's not going to be
but
Jim.
I feel like, isn't it a case of... I mean, civilization-wise.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like maybe where time has gone on, that it's brought more sort of buried previous lands. So they've become higher, which is why the columns are so high.
Oh, okay.
So as in the Earth was this big, and then
high.
as time has gone on,
it means the land level was there.
Yeah.
So they've built under, like
So
gone
they
down.
built-
you know what? I don't want to match up your thing. However, some of the sandstone that's found where the pyramids are built, the actual stone itself is from 1,000 miles away. So therefore,
It's brought
for
there.
that to make sense,
been brought
they'd
there.
have to have taken the sandstone from 1,000 miles away, transported it that distance to build it here.
However, to give him a little bit of help,
I'm just trying to.
water is another way, because obviously that makes it allows it. Weight's different in it. So if you do it through
Mathematically
water,
impossible.
No, but I'm saying if the water level was higher, and it's, you know what I mean, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's
Somebody
the other way.
floated the stones.
But you can't
That way.
float a 2,000-ton
I'm
stone.
giving him scale here. That's
I get you. Fine. But yeah.
However, but if technology was different, then there may have been a way to float the stone or the land or whatever it is, as they mentioned. However, the reason why I question that is these pyramids were built over a period of X. So this pyramid was made, for example, over 50 years. So if it took 50 years to be able to bring that many stones across the water, would have taken too long.
I'm gonna show my naivety.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna show my little bit of my naivety here. All right, but I'm like, you know when they say, "Oh, we can't build the pyramids now." I'm like, well, we got technology that could build the pyramids.
No.
So I don't understand.
Build the same pyramids without the technology.
Yes.
Without the technology,
That's the
yes,
difference.
I agree.
But that's what they mean.
But with the technology we've got now, we just get a crane and we build a pyramid. I don't understand.
Yeah, but you got to think that as Citrus said, the stones have come from a certain period away, a certain distance away. The actual what it is, you have to think about the pyramids in regards to what it represents. You've got 3 pyramids at Giza, which are directly aligned with Orion's belt, which are separate constellations. How did we see those? You can calculate. You can calculate north, south, east, and west. You can calculate the lines of the equator from the dimensions of the pyramid. So that's why,
and the
circumference of the earth, the tilt of the earth from the dimensions of the pyramid. So that's why it's a bit deep.
Just being devil's advocate.
Yep.
Not coincidence. No one's gonna go with that.
Are you mad?
Coincidence?
I'm said devil's advocate. I just said devil's advocate.
Everybody's advocate.
What, quick coincidence? It couldn't just be like,
no.
I placed this cup here, and all of a sudden it's directly in line
I'll
with
give
the
you.
sun.
I'll give you the difference. Sitting here, there's someone in Jamaica recording the podcast. We said exactly the same thing right now. In your head, you're saying coincidence. That's gonna happen 50,000 times in the space of 1 year. Not coincidence, bro. So there's a way of me to communicate to someone in Jamaica right now, or someone in Peru, or someone in Angola right now to say exactly the same thing at the same time, and we're all going to look up and see the same constellation in the same clouds, in the same sky.
You don't think there's a chance?
No.
I don't think so. The reason why I say you can't think so, there's not even a chance, because the pyramid,
and there were astrologers.
Like, so you've got the North Star, which is the perfect point of north in the sky. The pyramid at Giza, the middle one, the biggest one, is perfectly aligned, maybe off by half a degree left. That can't be coincidence. Can't be coincidence. Just another conspiratorial one. NASA have detected a 0.5 ton object which has been orbiting the Earth for the last 50 years. And it's apparently going to crash into the Earth. So have you not heard of the Black Knight satellite?
No. You're the man right now, bro.
Half a ton object, that's nothing.
It's not big, but it's been there for 50 years is the point.
So why was it noticed? Yeah,
no, it's not just been noticed now. So I've phrased it wrong. They've been monitoring it for 50 years.
I think I know the one you're talking about.
Telling us now.
So why would they not just go and blow it up? 0.5 ton, bro.
But you don't know
That's less than a van.
So the Black Knight satellite, I don't know if it's the same thing. The Black Knight satellite is an object which has been in outer space, orbiting the Earth for round about 50 years, and it's been broadcasting a frequency to the Boötis constellation.
Okay.
But none of you have heard of that, so I'm not going to, until we do the
Do you
constellation.
know rain comes in certain things? You get
Brother.
and you hear nano.
Hold on. No. It's just me, yeah. No. It's just me, yeah. But can't you just go back to the normal range roundup?
I'm going back to it. You take me 2 hours. It's your fault.
No, it's fine. Keep it going. I like it.
I'm going to bring it domestic. I'm going to bring it quite simple.
I'm waiting for the
right. Man United and Tottenham are apparently in the European final.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Who you supporting?
Wait. Okay, go on.
Who you supporting?
I want them both to lose.
Okay, this doesn't make any sense.
We're talking this is Sirelli.
But here's my question. When one of them wins that European title, have they had a better season than Arsenal?
Yes. I mean, as a Liverpool fan, it's great. But yes. To be fair,
yeah.
Man United, if Man United win it, funny enough, no. I mean, they've had the most disastrous.
Are they 16th and 17th in the league?
Yeah.
So how 16th and 17th?
Man United can't talk to no one.
Right.
I just be honest with you. To
be fair, both of them can't talk.
No. But Tottenham can.
Why?
Because Tottenham. The reason why is Tottenham are
rubbish.
The way I can put it, right? When West Ham won the Conference League,
okay,
all right,
they were 8th.
When West Ham won the Conference League, they had a more successful season than Arsenal. All right,
but where were they in the league?
He just said 8th.
About 8th.
All right.
8th.
But they won them no matter what. They had a more successful season than Arsenal. They won a trophy. They won a European trophy, and it's West Ham. If Tottenham win the European trophy, finishing 16th, I'm just giving you scale. I mean, I don't care where they finish in the league. They won a European trophy. Arsenal never. So as far as they're concerned, we won a trophy, more successful. Man United, however, who are known, it's like Liverpool, like that type of level. If they now win the Europa Cup, finish 17th in the league, I'm like, bro, don't even celebrate it. And and I'll give them their respect. Like they're not, they said we'll have a barbecue. We're not even having a parade because there's no point having a parade.
Wait, let Wiley
there's
go,
not a celebration.
and then Citrus go.
Man United or Tottenham, whoever wins it have had a better season than Arsenal. 100%.
Say again.
Whoever wins it has had a better season than Arsenal.
Because he won a trophy.
No, because they got a trophy, and you play football. You support teams to win trophies. You're playing to win trophies. No, even if Arsenal had 100 points and a team above them had 101, just won 1 point, and they got to the European Cup final and lost the FA Cup fight, they still wouldn't have won a trophy. Those two teams could chat to anybody and say, you know what, we got a European trophy though. We're in the same competition you're in, the Champions League next year. So whoever wins that trophy, 100% has the better season.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with that point, but I can see the other side of it. Say not Man United, but definitely Tottenham.
Okay, all right, cool. Moving on. Peter Andre, Jamaican.
Yeah,
I've already seen the trailer. The film doesn't come out until the 20th.
Yes.
The 20th. So I'm going to give it a plug. Sizzler's in there. Shouts out to Freddie.
Yep.
Freddie Krueger. He's directed it, I believe, and produced it. Exactly. What is your thought on it from a point of view of it being discriminatory? So, you know, there was the uproar about white chicks and there was the uproar about Tropical Heat Thunder.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr., where he blackface.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on Peter Andre? Do you think that he's doing the same thing?
No.
Why, Tongo?
Because the storyline and script of it, they chose that the person needs to be that role. It's not like Peter Andre said, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do the other. That's what they chose. That's how it was written. And they chose him as that. They cast him in the thing. He had to audition for it.
Right.
They cast him. Well, Freddie, from what I understand, Freddie contacted him
Yep.
about it to audition because they've worked with each other before. And he said he liked the sound of the script, blah, 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 blah. But he still had to audition. He didn't just say, all right, boom, I want Peter Andre. There you go.
Right.
He was probably the top runner, but they auditioned him to be that role. So they knew that the film was going to be this not black person portraying a black person.
All right.
I mean, obviously, I think not Rain's point. I think Rain's point is more not against Peter Andre, but more against the fact that it's being discriminated against because you've got somebody coming from a white guy, in essence, all right, that's come and is trying to portray being a black or
That's
Jamaican,
not my point. I'm asking the question. Yeah.
Or a Jamaican person who's putting on the fake accent and etc. etc.
I've got an opinion as well.
And he's
but
put
it's not my point.
the fake dreads on, etc. etc. I personally don't see nothing wrong with it. I think it's a comedy. All right, so it's there.
That's what helps it.
It's there for humor.
Yeah.
All right, and it's just and like I said, comedy. We've had 2 comedians on our show already to say to yourself, comedy is something to be laughed at. People shouldn't take offense to things like, you know what I mean. If you're trying to say, oh yeah, you're making jokes about black people and some of our blacks are stereotypes that we've got around us.
Yeah.
I have no problem in having those because we will make the same stereotype jokes and comedy actions about white people, about Asian people, about anybody. We'll just do it. It's just women. You know what I mean? It carries on. We do that. So I don't. It's a comedy and it's there to be enjoyed. It's a storyline. The storyline's not even that bad. It seemed from what I've seen of the trailer.
It looked decent.
It looked decent. And I thought to myself, I understand it. It's okay. I mean, where is the? I didn't understand the offense.
Will you go and see it?
I might pay to see it.
Citrus.
He's got regular membership for cinema. He ain't paid for nothing.
Citrus.
Not anymore.
Shout out goes out to Freddie and respect for the title. Take offense to it. It's called Jamaican. As soon as you read the name
I
of
agree.
it,
I agree.
Yeah.
it's called as in a fake Jamaican.
I don't see Peter Andre in there. I think it's the joke.
So immediately it's already satire. But shout goes out to an eMpTy member named Wesley.
Right, yeah.
So what you may not know is Wesley voiced the Peter Andre's Jamaican accent.
Really?
Go listen to the trailer.
Rubbish, man.
Go and listen to the trailer. Go and listen to the trailer.
So he'll be in the credits.
And you go and listen to the trailer and you hear Wesley's voice.
We're going to revisit this.
We could do the whole podcast on it, brother.
We're going to revisit
I'm
it.
gonna bring him in.
I'm going to turn around and shout out to Wesley because he did the original
Let's
thing.
get Wesley. You can't tell us no.
He'll come.
He has to come.
But what I will say is I hope it does well because, you know what I mean? For those that don't know, certain man was in eMpTy before they were producing films. Yeah, it was in eMpTy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Blackberry days. But anyway, Wesley's in it now and they've worked together and the voice noting, the voiceover, it's a bit mad. And I'm just waiting to see the film so I can see is my brethren. Shout goes out to Wesley Sinclair. If his name's in the credits, then we're good. If it's not in the credits, then we got a different problem.
Okay.
But right now, it's called Jamaican. It's about fake Jamaicans. Shout goes out to Wesley, my brethren,
fake Jamaican friend.
Our bedroom.
I mean,
Our brethren. But respect.
Four and all that. But anyway, let's move on.
yes.
I'm going to move on quickly to one kind of minor one and then a big one. We've got quite a few big ones. So hopefully I'm going to get through them. So firstly, Women's Euros happening this summer. Now, the UK government have put out a statement to say that if the women get semi-finals, they will open pubs for an extra 2 hours. The cut-off time for pubs is 11 o'clock. If they get to the semi-finals and then the finals, you are able to go to a pub and buy a drink up to 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Is that a bad thing? A good thing?
Is it on podcast? Eh?
Ooh,
Frankly,
I just want scale.
I don't know what day it's going to. We don't know what day the finals are going to be on.
Semi-finals.
The semi-finals would
Do you know what?
have been a Saturday or Sunday.
It's a good thing, and I'll tell you why. Because you know what it is? If England had won the Euros, they're probably the way the petition was going to have a bank holiday the next day.
Yeah.
The women won. Was it the Euros they won? Yeah, the Euros they won, and it was like, yeah, great, but we were going to work though. You know, it's not seen as big a thing. So I understand the equality side of things to turn and say to yourself, you know what? Let's try and make people understand themselves. If we do well or England does well in the Euros or the World Cup, then let them.
Did you say if we do well?
I said England. I changed
Well, you
it.
did say we though.
I didn't.
I like it though, bud. I like it. I like your acceptance.
I mean,
When's the last women's football match you watched?
Huh?
All right. Then.
I think that it's a slide drive to fuel the economy.
Of course, 100%.
That's what I think it is.
100%.
I don't think there is any respect
So
for
Tesco's, Morrison's, Asda, Sainsbury's, Ocado, Waitrose, M&S. You're going to see bears
gone.
two for £3.
You might see that, but remember, it's about being able to have a pub open and not have a lock-in where you can have people. Remember, you're going to be able to walk through Shoreditch, and pubs are going to be open till 1 o'clock. Remember, there are club owners that can just about get a late license till certain times.
But why are you upset? No,
I'm not saying I'm upset.
So on those nights, we're going to do a super late night,
Exactly.
boom, boom, boom,
And then, yeah.
semi-finals night.
But I think it's a bit of, and look, again, people might disagree. I think they're using the women's tag to bring forward or get more money into the coffers, which is the economy. Historically, would they have done that? To your point, they were going to get a bank holiday for the men. Why are they not saying we're going to try and get a bank? Why not say nothing? And then when they win, there's a bank holiday. Rather than you're going to open for 2 more on whatever day it is. You're going to open for 2 more hours, which basically it fuels the alcohol that comes into the country. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. But
I don't think it's money driven, though, innit?
Yes, I get it. But again, yeah, anyway. Right. Tory Lanez.
Hey.
Big story.
It's a big story. I'm not going to get into the story. Yeah, I will get into the story. What's your thoughts?
You got
Wiley.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I'll let
Wiley give you the insight.
The insight, very much of the story is, I think it's nearly 2 years ago now, maybe 3 years ago now. Megan Thee Stallion, Tory Lanez, her best friend, and I can't remember who else was in the car, went to Kylie Jenner's party. Megan Thee Stallion was quite drunk. She left out of there. Then she forgot something, came back. There was an argument between Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion. Something happened. Megan Thee Stallion ended up getting shot in her foot. That's how that happened. And it then went to trial. Tory Lanez got accused that he shot her in the foot. He didn't take the stand.
We found out he didn't have hair.
Yep. Yeah, he promoted that for a long time. But he didn't take the stand and give his own statement. Though all the DNA on the guns, there was no DNA evidence of him on the actual gun.
Whose DNA was it?
This is where it gets interesting. No one else was tested for DNA of the 4 people that was in the car. So what happened was he got jailed for 10 years. I think it said something about, I can't remember the exact term, but it wasn't that he shot her. It was something like he was reckless or something with a gun. Something like that. Something along those lines. What's now happening, the reason why this story is now blowing up now, his legal team have come out and said that the best friend of Megan Thee Stallion, her bodyguard has said that the best friend, Kelsey, I forget her surname,
but go on.
She had shot Megan in the foot.
Mad.
Now,
the security, so just be clear. So just
the security of Kelsey, not the security of Megan Thee Stallion, the security of Kelsey, who's Megan's best friend. And the whole story that came out was that she was sleeping with Tory Lanez. Megan Thee Stallion was also having a relationship with Tory Lanez. Whole heap of mix-up. Where it gets more sinister and interesting this week, though, is Tory Lanez got stabbed 14 times in prison on Monday or Tuesday. Jeez. This is why his legal team have now come out and said, we was talking to the New York Post and giving out this story, talking about, we had all this evidence. All of a sudden, Tory Lanez, who's been in prison for however long, has had no issues, is suddenly stabbed 14 times. This is not a coincidence.
Right. So that's the story.
That's the story right now.
So what buddy, go.
Like power. No. I mean, will you ask my opinion on it?
Well, I get if you any opinion. I've got a mutation to the story as well. But do you have an opinion on it, or does anyone have an opinion?
I don't feel he should have been in prison for as long as he's been in prison for, and I do feel Kate's was a bit wishy-washy get shot in the toe, and all of a sudden, yeah, I mean, you're doing 10 years, and it's a madness. It's the being stabbed 14 times. I didn't actually hear about that yet.
One in the back of the head, or was it back?
It was a number in the back of the head, a number in the back. He's got stabbed in his chest. They said if it was a little bit to one side, it'd have been through his heart. This person who was trying to stab him was trying to kill him.
Definitely. That's mad.
This is not a random attack. Which was trying to kill him.
I mean, for me, he shouldn't be there in the first place. But it's like, I don't know, it's like anything in America. It's a bit dramatized and all the rest of it. So I'm like...
well, we're going to stay with America.
Go on.
Well, just to add on to that. So Chris Brown came out, I think it was on Monday as well, in support of Tory Lanez. Boom. So I think it was this morning or yesterday, he got arrested in Manchester because he bottled... Tongo's like, what? Where are you getting these stories from?
You're up a range roundup, now you're getting a range roundup.
I'm interested.
Chris Brown basically bottled a producer. I don't know what the dispute was about. He's arrested. He must be out on bail. But he was arrested. Now, Chris Brown's got, is it 10 shows in the UK or something? Yep. Sold out, and they're in jeopardy. Now, I'm not a Chris Brown fan. I don't really business about Chris Brown. I know he's a dancer. I'm not better than Michael Jackson. Probably not even as good as MC Hammer, but he's an artist. And, no, as a dancer, Chris Brown is a thing, but you know what I mean? But people are going to be very, very, very upset if that concert is cancelled. Does anyone have any thought on it? Or, well, you didn't know about the story?
I didn't actually hear about the Chris Brown thing,
or the Tory Lanez thing, but...
Yeah, I saw the story, but I couldn't give it.
You couldn't care less.
No, but you know what the thing is? It's weird because Chris Brown wasn't allowed in the UK for a long time. So
because of the reality. He had a conviction. So
he had to go to Ireland to do a lot of his things. So this is the first time he's been in the UK. I don't know if it's ever, but I know
he's been there last year. Year before.
He went in last year.
No, after the conviction, whatever, he was allowed to come.
Yeah,
fine.
afterwards.
Let me move on. Sierra, P. Diddy. That case. So the trial's going on.
Sierra? Oh, Cassie.
Cassie, sorry, wrong person. Sorry, don't sue us. She's been giving her testimony, and it seems quite sordid. So Diddy had his family, so daughters, in the courtroom. Cassie went on to say stuff in regards to what happened at the freak-offs.
Choking on urine.
Namely, urine. Diddy wanted someone to rub semen into his chest and blah, 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 blah. At that point, his daughters walked out. Cassie is pregnant.
Yeah.
Her partner, hearing all of this, was like, rah, and bounced out of the courtroom as well. Like, wagwan for Diddy.
All I'm saying, without sounding mad, is tell me the part that's illegal.
Ooh. No, I need to pour a drink.
The producer turned around.
Tell me the bit that's illegal.
Because
he could be as nasty as he wants. Tell me the part that he's breaking the law.
Because apparently it was against her will. I say apparently, allegedly,
and she
against
said,
her will.
Like there was one part she says, "Did you want to have sex when you was on your period?" She says no. Did you want to be urinated on? She says no.
So if she's been forced to do something against her will, then that is like the way I see it. If it's sexual, then it's rape.
Okay.
If it's not sexual, then it's kidnapping.
I think she has said that he raped her. I believe he has said she has said in the court that he has raped her. I believe he has said.
So if that's the case, then he should be trialed as a rapist. Anything else? This is all like you're adding.
No,
you're adding fluff. Like turn around and say this is how you've been sexually assaulted by making as you said about this urine thing or this. Then cool. That's the law that's been broken.
He sat in a chair and told the man them to walk her while he masturbated, and apparently she said that allegedly that wasn't consensual.
So if he's done that and that's broken the law, then he's in the wrong.
Right.
Outside of that, the issue that I've got is and this is the kind of thing that happens when any prevalent star gets put in the limelight, is everyone's like, I can't believe he did that. However, this has been the thing with Cassie was what, 15 years ago?
I can't remember.
No, it's about 2016, something like that. Something like that.
Wait, when she made that song,
Oh yeah, I know that song. Yeah.
That's about 15 years ago. But the whole period of everything is.
It's when she was coming. So look, sorry, just jump
when
in.
she was on a come up.
She was there, and then the link up with him. Do these things, and you'll go there. That's
and this is what I was trying to come in and say. It's
Go on.
finish.
It's the man. He's got power in it, and the power can allow you to do certain things or allow you to make people make certain decisions and do certain things. And if he's got so much power and he's wielding this power in an unlawful way, is what is being pushed across.
Right, okay.
So you're manipulating people in a situation. Say, look, you do this, you'll get this. On the other side of it is, if you don't do this, I can do this, and I can destroy your career. I can get people to hurt you. I can do this.
Cancelled,
So
all that stuff.
You're now in a
Blacklisted.
situation. It's like do it or dead, and it's like, oh, I'm going to do it. So this is how she felt, or how she's allegedly felt, and what the position he's put her in. So a lot of the things it's like, yo, you're gonna go sleep with Wiley, because I'm telling you.
The problem that I've got, right, with all of this, and this is me not saying that he should be let off, because if he's done the nastiness, then you need to be trialed for that. My issue is the video that came out of Diddy
in the corridor,
beating her up in the corridor, is 12 years old.
Something like that, 2016.
Who sat on this video for 12 years? Who held this in their archives for such a long period to say, you know what, we'll wait for the right time to release this, and now's the right time, and here it is. So for me,
does that matter though?
To me, it
still
matters.
happened, didn't it?
To me, no. To me, it matters, because if you turn around and report a crime, like, no disrespect, if any of you guys were manhandled or molested today, and it happened here at the podcast, and then you said to me in 15 years' time or 12 years' time, do you remember when this happened? I'm like, no, I don't remember anything.
But it still happened.
But it happened. So I'm like, well, why did you wait 12 or 15 years for it to be released? This is the part, I'm not saying that it should be dismissed, but I'm like, why now? Why?
Then what?
Why today are you going to turn around and say, here's the information of something happening to Tongo or Rain or Buddy or Wiley or why now?
It takes a while.
And for me, no. So for me, you have to think to yourself that, and we said this on a podcast, this got released on one of the shorts, saying that somewhere in an establishment, someone's got pissed off, and all of this nonsense that's been happening, that shouldn't have been happening, is now coming all out at the same time. And if you've done wrong, be punished to the extent of the law. However, why now?
Tongo.
Apparently, there's a theory that the reason why it came out now is because Diddy got investigated. He apparently paid someone to hold that or to obtain that video, knowing what he had done, that it was on camera. But where the police have raided his house and investigated all this stuff, they've now discovered it, and it was leaked that way.
The Babylon release it.
I don't necessarily Babylon release it, but apparently that's how it's now come to the surface now, because of that raid, and he had it where he had basically bribed someone to give him the tape.
So he's got 17,000 hours of video, and they've said this is the one that you need to release after the raid.
Well, the thing is, the video was released before the raid. Yeah. That's the first thing. The video was released way before the raid happened. The thing to remember as well is that Cassie is also saying that she was blackmailed with these videos. So it's not just about these things happened. It's that the reason why she didn't come forward is because she was being blackmailed.
There's videos of the freak off.
Yeah, it's in the court. They're showing this. They're showing
the video.
Not the. Obviously not.
I reached that one. I can't believe it.
Obviously not. I can't believe it. Obviously not of all
New juror Tongo, from the UK. Please make your way to the stand.
Obviously not.
Please. Yes.
Not of all the things that all the graphic details, but they have shown videos of it. And like I said, she was saying she was being blackmailed. So this would be why she was not feeling comfortable or brave enough or whatever it was to come forward. Now, but she's empowered by something now to say, you know what, I'm coming forward. A bit like
30 million.
A bit like when you go back to the Tory Lanez story, why is that bodyguard suddenly now come forward with his side of the story? Something has happened that is now, you know what, it's not a case of, oh, I've been holding this I don't feel comfortable. Because if you didn't feel comfortable before, you would have just released it. There's a whole load of theories about all this. But what we can't deny is that these are in the court now.
These happened, didn't it?
And the things that are being discussed are things that he's paid out her before on some of these things. So it's very, very sordid.
It's sordid. But with that in mind, it being sordid, was it a good idea for Cassie to bring her husband and Diddy to bring it? Is it 6? I think it was 6 children.
It was a 3 girls.
No,
girls.
yeah, but he's got 6
3 daughters.
Yeah, no, but he's got
the boys.
There was 5 or 6 children. Like is that the right? Should you bring them?
Right.
Yeah.
So they need support. Witnesses need support.
If I'm innocent or I'm pleading my innocence of whatever crime that I've supposed to have committed, is my child coming? Yes, he's coming. Because I'm innocent. I'm in my eyes.
It's not even if you're innocent. If you want to show solidarity, remember there's a lot of money and stuff and power at stake here. People want to show a solid front in it. Like how many celebrities show a solid front when they're married, but really and truthfully they're not. They're separated or whatever. But for the cameras, they want to show a solid front. Now the children is one thing. I'm more concerned about the husband of Cassie because I would have thought he would have been made aware beforehand, all these things. But it's a lot to take in.
It's embarrassing.
It's a lot, not embarrassing. It's a lot to take in.
If you're saying that they're showing the videos as well, I'm sitting here with my missus and I'm like, all right, come babe. And she's doing whatever case she's doing. And all of a sudden I'm watching, I'm saying, and seeing her being urined on. I'm seeing all of that. She's choking on urine. You know what I mean? And I'm sick. I can't. Because that will ruin my relationship.
What about the kids? Like there's, whether the videos or not, but the testimonies of people are saying, right, your dad has been a part of XYZ. Whether it be masturbation, running a sex party, whatever it may be. What solidarity is that?
The thing is, it's not.
Before you run onto that, sorry. Go on. Apparently, do you know that the husband has come out and said that he stands by her and he's
I would expect he would do.
Yes, do.
Stands by Cassie, you mean?
But I mean, there's a uproar that some people are saying that he's crazy. Some people are saying that he's mad.
To stand by Cassie?
Yeah.
Why? He's the victim.
Because, but people are, the world is fickle, innit? So they're
she's
saying
the victim.
that he's, simp and this and that, but the
no,
saying that he's a strong man. Like, there's like
I get the simp
argument on the, there's a big argument online about
I get
whether he should have stayed or not, or if he should dump her or whatever, or leave or whatever.
I get the simp comment. I do get the simp comment.
If you don't stay by her, that is wild.
Why do you get the simp
comment? Do you know why? Because, like I said, it's very hard to see and know some of these things. Because it's like, he's now finding out that his girl was Jenny from the block, the girl that everybody just went through. But he's finding this out. He's watching it, he's seeing it, and he's like,
not like that.
What, so your girl was the skettel on the block that everyone... One second, let me...
We've got one comment each on this and I want to move on.
It's like me finding out now, everybody in here has run through my gal, and I'm like, oh yeah, but it's all right, it's your gal. And he's seeing this. And once he's now seeing it, it's like, you know what? Am I really gonna stay with the gal that everybody's run train through? I can see the angle. I'm not saying he's right or it's right. I'm saying to you, I see the angle in it. I can see where
the angle of what people are saying online.
Yeah, no, and how his headspace might be saying to someone, you're a simp. You should just bounce. I don't think he should. But I see it.
2 things. One, she already said she's been forced. Second, her past is her past, no?
Okay, Citrus.
I'm not going to comment.
She's a victim. And I'm never going to blame a victim for being a victim. When she met Diddy, I think she was either 19 or 20. He was 37, whatever it was. He was 37, 38 years old. She was a child.
How old was she?
I'm not going to go with exact figures.
I'm not sure.
She was between 19 and 21. He was 38.
She was a youth.
He was 38. So he was manipulating her. I can't blame someone from that age for being manipulated. Listen,
it's just hard to see. That's my only point. It's hard to see when people say we can say what we can say now because we're not in that situation. But it's very hard to see or fathom that my missus was the one that was everybody in this room had gone through, and I'm seeing a video and they've done this to her, and then afterwards turn and say, oh yeah, I support her because she was the victim. I can see where it's like the other side of it, the human side, the jealousy side, will turn and say to me, I don't know if I can feel this.
So you would leave the relationship?
I never said I would. I'm just saying to you, I can see I can understand
I can't understand
the other side of it, innit? And that's what I'm trying to point out. As much as we're sitting there saying and seeing the human side, I suppose, and saying to yourself, no, I'm going to stick by her because she was a victim. I'm also saying to myself, there are people that say, boy, how are you actually putting up with the fact that your girl was run train through and she was pissed on and da 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 da? I can see it.
Any 5-second comments on this?
No.
Burkina Faso.
Hey.
Yeah, no man ever looking to. Let me just chill out for this
D
one.
wanted this for a long time.
Yeah,
So
D was waiting for you.
a country in Africa, run by a leader who I don't know if I've read this right. He took power.
It was a coup.
Yeah. So he took power. Ibrahim Traoré. Captain. Yeah. Sorry. The title's right. What Dean? What do you know about him?
He is a revolutionary. He's young. He's in his 30s. He is very well educated. He has had 18 attempts on his life.
Yep.
He has vowed to the people of Burkina Faso to take back the country and to bring the country into the forefront of the world.
Right.
In doing so, he has brought education back from nursery up to university for free. He has made healthcare free.
He's done a lot.
He has
Got back the gold.
brought back the refineries of mining gold back to Burkina Faso, and also manufacturing. So my brain should be with this, but I think manufacturing, I can't remember what it is, but manufacturing a certain type of food. I can't remember the food, but manufacturing it locally rather than importing it. So then therefore the dependency isn't on external countries, it's on himself. He's forced the French previous dictators to leave. He's also ensured that in the future, he can sit at the top table when it comes to negotiations.
Right. So
And he's been put on a low level, but a wanted list from Western countries, including the US, France, and many European countries.
And even some African countries, the ECOWAS countries, it's actually
that are taking sides to say they can't stand with him, so they're going to actively stand against him. However, because obviously the world and obviously many African nations are viewing what he has done and what he is doing, they're saying, actually, we need to observe what's happening in Burkina Faso because there are issues happening in Democratic Republic of Congo, and also Chad and a few other
Sudan, all over the place.
Right.
All over the place.
There's actually 3 countries that have made this sort of movement. The Alliance of the Sahel States, and that's Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso, and they're working together. And you know what? It is so. First of all, I just like the fact that they've kicked out anything to do with France.
Yep.
They don't speak French no more. For a start, they don't.
They do, but
they
changed the national language.
Changed the national language.
Good.
Yeah.
French gone. All the contracts with France gone.
Also changed the uniform that they wear and what they're making the school children wear.
Yep. It's amazing. It's amazing.
It is. And what was even more amazing.
Sorry. Also, he's paid back the deficit. The country was in debt. He's cleared the deficit, and the GDP is now in a positive state.
He on Monday met with Vladimir Putin.
So they have a strong alliance with Russia.
Monday seems to be a busy day around the world, doesn't it?
A strong relationship with Russia. Did anyone see how they greeted this man?
No.
Like proper, like almost the level of respect that they, whether it was acted or whether they just generally shown him, was above Donald Trump. Like proper formal sit down, his man them on this side, his man them on this side. Translators, obviously. He gave his address where he was saying, look, my view is I want African nations to stop relying on the West. He always says the West. Apart from when he refers directly to France, he says the West. The West technically is America. Now, I don't know what Donald Trump's steer on him is, but you're right. He's had X amount of attempts on his life. His right-hand man was approached.
Yeah.
to say, kill this man and you're nice for life.
His bodyguard was given 11 million. 11 million US dollars.
But this guy,
and the bodyguard said, okay, yeah, cool, I'll take the money to set him up, but actually double cross the person that approached him and then set them up.
Right, okay. He wants the best for Africa.
That's loyalty, boy.
He wants the best for Africa as a whole. I can't understand why, and maybe someone can help me, why some African nations are not buying into his vision. Now, I'm not saying he's Colonel Gaddafi, where he was trying to do the dinar and the one currency traded in gold. That was a madness as well, but that's why he got duppied. But he's doing something equal to that. I think they've got an agreement with some states, Russia included, and I think, actually, I'm not going to say it because I might be wrong, but Russia's there in regards to how they trade and how their money is valued. And obviously people around the world don't like it. But again, an African nation don't like it. Why?
Right. So you have Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast is where, I don't know if you've ever heard of Thomas Sankara, I think.
Sankara, yeah.
So,
which was before him, yeah?
Yes. So the guy who was the guy that assassinated Blaze.
Is it right to say in the 80s, Wiley?
Yes, I forget his name. I forget the person who organized, who did the coup that got rid of Thomas Sankara. He's currently in Ivory Coast. I believe he's in exile there. So that's why you got places like Ivory Coast. Yeah. You know what it is? It's all to do with money. If I'm funding you and I can see that fund drip can be troubled, I'm always going to be against it. And that's what it is. The West fund a lot of countries in Africa, in certain places where they will try and fuel what is going on. You've got things like the, you was asking earlier about the American view on it. They had an American general, I forget his name, Michael Langley, I think his name. Went to Ivory Coast, I believe it is. And I think he was making statements along the lines of that the Burkina Faso captain, very dangerous, the coup was illegal, all sorts of stuff. And we don't, as far as I'm concerned, and I believe this to be the case, I believe all these attempts on his life, they've been fueled by people from outside of Africa. Yeah. Because they want to maintain that power dynamic and power vacuum and keep things as it is. France manufacture nothing. And comes all from the resources. And what's crazy, uranium.
Exactly, thank you, Wiley. So what it was, France was buying uranium from Burkina Faso, and please, the numbers are off. Something like $2 for a kilo of uranium. But they were selling it at $500 per kilo of uranium. So Burkina Faso were like, well, one second, if you're doing that, firstly, we're going to take you out of our country and we're going to manufacture it ourselves. So now they are manufacturing, I think it is uranium. They're manufacturing it themselves. And in doing so, they've managed to encourage a huge amount of income into the country, which is being used to betterment of the people of Burkina Faso. So they are saying, well, one second, if this man is doing this and he's willing to continue to do this, why are we going to go against him for a measly, for example, $11 million? And furthermore, even if it does happen to him, there are 10 more Captain Ibrahim Traoré waiting to take his space.
And that's what you need. You do need a legacy. But some people are calling him a dictator.
I was going to say, literally wanted to say, how long before like the Western world turns and says, basically he's a new...
They're saying it now.
They're saying it now.
Yeah.
Well, to be able to do it, you need to prove a war crime to be able to invade a country. And to prove a war crime, you need stable ground, and they don't have.
Even the fact of, obviously, when you said about Putin and he's having a conversation with Putin, it's enough for them to turn and use that to kind of try and escalate. Oh, well, he's on Russia's side, and obviously you know how we're supposed to view Russia. So it's like, you know what? It's like if he's on Russia's side, he's against, and that means he's on their side.
Please do not be fooled to think that Russia is the open and obvious enemy. As much as what we're seeing in the media,
yeah, I agree.
It's not even China. It's not necessarily the case, because where the strongholds, we're thinking the West is right. We need to really sit there and open our first, second, and third eye and really understand what's going on in the landscape of the world. And when you understand what's happening in the landscape of the world, you will then understand how each of these games fit in. Sorry to take this over, but the US today signed a 146 billion pound
war, yes. Weapons deal.
Yeah, weapons deal with Saudi Arabia. So you have to then think, I thought Saudi Arabia, like, if and you know what's crazy? And for those that are at home, do you know what's crazy? Watch Bond films. Bond films
Oh my
tell you the story of what's happening in the world. And I'm not saying watch James Bond. No,
watch it.
Just watch who the enemies are in each one of the James Bonds, and you will see
they tally up with the news
they'll tally up with the news. So one might be a Chinese man. You'll then get an African guy. Yep. You'll get a Russian guy. They'll even throw in a British guy because, do you know what I mean? The IRA, they'll do the most. And when you put them all together and you think, 1 second, what's happening in the news at that time? And then what's happening in James Bond at that time? And then you see the correlation between the two. This what says to me, Western media is very powerful.
It's just very quickly, because I don't want to, this will be another thing to go into. We sort of touched on it before. But what we also have to look at, social media is playing such a big part in keeping Captain Traoré relevant in the news and supported. But
not in the traditional sources.
Yes.
Can you see a Guardian article? Can you see a Times?
No. It's social media. Yeah, exactly. Social media. And social media in 2025 is having such a big, and we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, how social media is the new form of getting things out there. News. Yes, he's very supported, very supported.
It's funny you say that about the James Bond film. So I was getting my haircut on Monday or Tuesday, and I was telling...
By Goldeneye.
By Octopussy. But no, I was talking to I said to the barber, like the barber, barbers, innit? They know everything and nothing. So I was telling him...
That goes out Stongo.
He knows everything. I was telling the barber about, so it's not conspiracy theory, the UK Navy have a laser weapon which can hit a target of a 1 penny from 100 miles away. It's a laser weapon on a boat right now. And he said to me, yeah, man, that was in Moonraker, James Bond.
Yeah, it was.
But when he said it, I'm like,
the correlation.
I thought about it. It was bloody in there. So that James Bond thing that you're talking about is 100% true. 100% true. But anyway, Ibrahim, he's doing a thing. I don't know if anyone saw, I posted it in our group ages ago. Millicent Bart Williams, who was talking about Sierra Leone, basically saying her African nation is a rich nation. Why do we want handouts from XYZ? Why do you keep hold of our minds and whatnot? But this man is doing the same thing. I'll post it again. This man is doing it in real life. She did a TED talk. It's almost like he's listened to what she said and he's like, nah, Africa, I'm changing that.
You know, sorry, when you said Bart Williams, I'm thinking of Chris Bart Williams, and I'm sure. No, but his heritage was from Sierra Leone. So that's what I'm saying. When you said Bart Williams, I'm thinking there must be some form of a relation or something.
Maybe. But I'll put the video in the group again. I know we're hurtling towards the end of it. I'm just trying to think where to go.
Well, very quickly,
go for it.
Make sure those of you that are watching online, make sure you tune in for the 29th of May. 29th of May, we're going to have the special guest, Kenny Thing, will be in the building, and we'll be having a load of questions and talking about his book, his history, deja vu, whole load of stuff. Make sure you are following the eMpTy podcast. Subscribe. Make sure you're watching the podcast that day.
Keeping it music, Sting, Pirate Radio, blah, blah, blah. Kanye West.
Psycho.
Released a new song called How Hitler.
Bumble. I actually ain't know that one.
Can this man be cancelled? Because the song is doing its rounds. However, you've got white racists saying How Hitler and saying it's the song, I'm allowed to sing this. But Russell Brand basically came out and said, look, it doesn't matter what this man does, you lot can't cancel him. And I think I'm in agreement. I don't think he can be cancelled.
I don't think so either.
You can't.
I think you can't
cancel him. Did R. Kelly still get played in
No.
In 1 second.
Go on.
Does he still get played?
People think about it.
They think about it now. I think it's got less so now, but when it first happened, R. Kelly was cancelled. Do you know what I mean? And that's probably, that's the king of R&B.
I don't think so.
Brother, people don't play him. There was one point he got stopped on Spotify All right, it was mad. You couldn't find him. He was getting cancelled. People stopped playing him. It wasn't something you didn't play "Step in the Name of Love" at certain wedding songs anymore. Then you look at P Diddy right now. All right, and you think to yourself, is he getting cancelled? At the moment, slowly but surely, he's getting cancelled. So when you're sitting there saying, can Kanye get cancelled? 1,000,000%. He's pushing on the realms of getting cancelled. That Hitler song, I never heard about it yet. I'll be honest, you've just reported news to me.
But he don't know hip hop.
Kanye cannot be cancelled.
I agree.
Because Kanye has already been cancelled and has swung back round again. You have to remember, Kanye isn't just music. Kanye is clothing. Kanye is the trainers. Kanye is everything. And the fact that we're talking about Kanye shows why Kanye cannot be cancelled. If he was cancelled, we would do everything not to talk about him. He makes himself relevant.
I disagree with that.
He makes himself relevant.
He's a celebrities. All celebrities are going to be talked about, even the ones that are cancelled. Noel Clark still gets talked about. He got cancelled at one point, but he's not. He still gets spoken about. What happened with Noel Clark is that he's now not now making Bulletproof. He's not making all these other shows that he was making anymore. All right. So when you're saying can he get cancelled, can all of a sudden people stop playing or stop listening or taking on Kanye? Yeah, of course they can. And he's getting to the point where there's a lot of people that used to be hard Kanye followers, all right? And now they're starting to be like, not so much no more. And the more that he puts out these racist stuff, all right?
It's not racist, because if you listen to the song and the lyrics, you have to listen to the lyrics, but it's not necessarily racist. But the racists have taken it on board. Why? The final comment.
Very final comment, yeah? Kanye West's net worth in 2020 was 3.3 billion, yeah? 2020. It went down to just under $500 million, yeah? His current net worth is 2.77 billion. This is a man that was cancelled. He's not cancelled, bruv. No matter how much you want to try and cancel him, he's not cancelled. Not at all.
On that, it was a range roundup. I could have gone for another hour, like easily gone on for another hour, because I was prepared and all of them things there. But if I'm allowed back, I'll come back and I'll do another one.
I said if I'm allowed back,
in about 6 months' time.
Like he's a special guest.
We have been the MT podcast, and if the glass
ain't half full,
it's
hey, right, man, look different.
Am I cutting to you?
You know, Kim Kardashian is in court this week as well. And she got cancelled. Remember when she got robbed in Paris? And then she got robbed by two men. One was